back to another video, chopping up with your boy Lamar. Hope you guys are doing well today. And remember, guys, stand on our journey, man. We stand on the right moves. We stand focused. We stand determined. And we stand in our own lane. Remember that we stand in our own lane, staying consistent in what we're doing. Remember, don't compare. Don't compare yourself to other people's journey. That will be the thief, and that will, man, that'll knock you off your pivot real quick if you try to compare yourself based off on expectations and what somebody else is doing compared to what you got going on, why you not doing this compared to why they doing that. Man, don't do it. Don't do it. It's not even worth it. It's not worth it comparing yourself. Don't compare yourself to other people. That'll definitely throw you off your game and your main focus. You gotta stay on the journey, man. And it's cool to follow. When I say this, it's cool to follow. But it's cool to follow people that's educated, that's smarter than you, that you can get in a room and learn from. That's when it's okay to follow. It's okay to get information from, to understand how did they get there, or understand, okay, instead of doing this, learning from their mistakes. You know what I'm saying? You want to learn those things. You don't want to keep going through this game saying, or going through this journey we call life without asking or without following some type of instruction or guidance to get where you need to get to in life. Because everybody needs somebody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody need a helping hand to get to where they need to get to in life. There's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do and make the right choices, make the right moves, but also don't burn bridges in between the process. Something didn't go right, or somebody mistreated you, or you have seen something from a distance. Just scale back. Don't act off your emotions. Always remember that. Keep yourself under control at all times. And sometimes I know you want to lash out, go at it, go in. Sometimes it's just not even worth your energy. Remember, it takes more energy to hate somebody than to love somebody. So you always got to remember that. You got to stay in your lane when it comes to things like that. You know what I'm saying? Because people look at certain things like that. You never know who's looking that might can give you that opportunity to get you through the doors that you need to get to make your business launch. So there's a lot of people in position in life that sit back and observe and just look for people. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if they got their eyes on you right now. You know what I'm saying? They might see you from a distance knowing that, who is this person? I'm always seeing this person. I'm always seeing them doing this, doing that. They, I always hear their name brought up in rooms. Well, let me just look at them. Let me observe them. Let me see how they do on a day-to-day basis. Let me see how they treat people. Let me see how they talk to people. You know what I'm saying? It's things like that, guys. So that's the thing in life that we have to put in perspective as we get older. You know what I'm saying? I know we want that microwave blessing. I know a lot of people want that microwave blessing. They want it right here, right now. And maybe God's instruction not to give it to you right now. And that's okay, because God wants to build your character first. He wants to make sure you're a good steward and make sure you can follow directions first before he gives you what you're really asking for, or what he has in plan for you, And I guarantee you, and I know this sounds so cliche, guys. I know this sounds so cliche. What you may be asking for in prayer, God's blessing is 10 times better than what you're asking for. I'm telling you, man. You might be asking like, man, I want this high, this high paying job, or I want this new house or this new car. God's plan may be 10 times better, man. And then sometimes it's hard. It's hard to wait on God. I've been there before, and sometimes I go through those moments where I'm like, man, God, this ain't right. This ain't feeling right. You just waiting on God's, you waiting on God's movement. You know what I'm saying? You got to wait on God's blessing. And as you wait, you just ask God for discernment to understand what's out here for you and what's right for you. You know, what doors should you walk in? You know what I'm saying? Because every door is not meant for you to walk through. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay if God closes doors, because that's totally fine, you know, at the end of the day. And there's nothing wrong with that process, you know. But you just got to ask God for discernment to be able to know which door for you to walk through, and knowing which lane for you to be, you know, directed in, you know. Because wherever you go, you need to just ask God, how can I advance your kingdom forward? Because you placed me around these people for a reason. What is it you want me to do to advance your kingdom forward, to move forward in life, or to help somebody that may be freed, captive here? You might get a new job, new money, new opportunity, you know, but it might be somebody there that might be struggling with faith, that might be struggling with whatever their situation may have been. They might be struggling, and God placed you there just to bless them and help them out, and therefore they're excelling, and you bring them closer to God. You know, then God might place you in another situation, you know, another new opportunity. You know, you might still be making more. You might be making more money at different position, big boy position, big girl position, whatever the position you may want to, you may desire in life. And God just have ways of working, guys. That's why you got to be careful how you treat people, and those who don't know God and those who don't follow God. You got to be careful when you're placed in their presence, because you got to ask God for the correct wisdom. I mean, you know, the right wisdom and the right words to say to them, to speak to their heart. You know, not to get on the platform to be all preachy and stuff like that, but God just has his ways of talking to people, man. And it might be through television, it might be through you, it might be through social media. It could be all different various platforms. But God has his ways, billboard signs, you know, it can be anything, guys. But God has ways of talking to people, and you are his vessel. So never dim your light to, you know, to make somebody feel better. Always keep your light bright, because you never know who might be in that room. Light is just completely turned off. So, man, it's different out here, guys. Trust me. You never know what God may be using you for, to, you know, to advance his kingdom. Because we all part of the body, you know. So everybody got different tasks. Because if you're faithful over the little stuff that he blesses you with, it definitely make you a ruler over many. You know what I'm saying? That's a true testament. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta have have good understanding and good focus of what he's trying to bless you with, and manage what he blesses you with now, in order to receive more, to do more with what he's about to get ready to bless you with. Because we can all, you know, as you make more money, you know, it doesn't mean that you need to spend more or increase your lifestyle. You know, God wants you to have things. God wants you to have the house. God wants you to have the cars. You know what I'm saying? God wants you to have these things. You know what I'm saying? God don't want you to go without. But we got to be careful how we spend. We got to be in position to do the right things. And it's hard to tell somebody that never had it before, as soon as they get a bag. You know what I'm saying? That's tough too. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely understand that. You know, you take somebody that never had anything like that in their life, and as soon as they get money, they blow it. They never had it. They don't understand the principles. So sometimes it's tough telling people what to do with their money or with their situation. You know what I'm saying? They have to learn from their mistakes. I have learned from my mistakes. I have learned from the things I have done in the past, and I'm still learning. You know, that's one thing about it. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to still be coachable. You know, still follow suit. You know what I'm saying? So, as you know, as you make more in life, You know, don't try to increase your overhead. Decrease your overhead as much as possible, and get rid of as much, you know, frivolous things, you know, that doesn't really, you know, make sense. Like, you know, if you're dealing with credit card debt, get rid of that. You got a car loan, man, try to get rid of, you know, not saying you try to get rid of the car, but try to pay that car off as soon as possible. Things like that, guys. You know, continuous, you know, debt, you know, bills, I would say, like, you know, electric, water, cell phone bill, like, you know, you're gonna have those things. That's just things it's hard to just kind of walk away from unless you live out in the country, you don't believe in lights. You got your own water, sewer, like you can pump your own, you know, stuff like that. You know, it's different. But like car insurance, you need car insurance, things like that. But you can decrease certain things and get rid of certain things, man. Get rid of it, guys, because as you get older, man, I'm telling you, it'll bite you in the butt, man. It will bite you in the butt. I have learned from those mistakes, especially as I get older, as a husband and as a father. You know, you want to be able to put yourself in position to do right and have the things that you want to have for your family, or experience certain things that you want to experience for your family, because it's important, guys. It's definitely important. You know, it's definitely important, because memories are priceless, man. Memories are priceless. So definitely stay connected, stay grounded. You know, give God his, and watch God do more for you than you ever can imagine, guys. But stay in your own lane. Don't compare yourself. That's the word for the day. Don't compare yourself, and just go from there, guys. You know, I wish you guys nothing but love, peace, happiness, and you know, just take it one day at a time and just run your race, guys. Remember that.